Good afternoon, good people, especially our St. Edward's Parish family. This message is really directed to you, although others may want to listen in, but this is directed towards the St. Edward Parish family. I wanted to talk to you today about something that I've been receiving, and the priests of the diocese have been receiving much information over the last couple of days through the bishop's office, Bishop McClory's office, about how worship services, our Catholic masses, are going to resume under the governor's Back on Track Indiana plan, the 5-phase or 5-stage plan that Governor Holcomb put together for the state. It is a 5-stage, phased-in approach. And the goal and the hope, obviously, is reaching the final stage 5 and what is being called back to normal, or as close to back to normal as whatever normal is going to be by July 4th. But that is obviously subject to change depending on how things go with the number of cases of COVID and the number of hospitalizations and all those things that are determining factors. But what we are trying to do, and the governor's being very open and cooperative and actually very, we believe, generous toward the Christian community and all people of faith who want to gather together to worship, to gradually, and that's the important part, gradually return to normal while we attempt to mitigate any resurgence of the virus and while we continue to protect those who are most vulnerable. So after going through a lot of pages of notes, I've tried to summarize things so I can get the information to you in as concise and as clear and as complete of a way as I can. So before getting into more of the specifics as to how this will all play out at St. Edward's, there are 4 items that I want to mention, okay? These will preface the rest of what I'm going to share with you. Obviously, those who are sick, those who have existing compromising health conditions that put you at a higher risk, continue to stay at home, please. If you are sick, if you have any kind of health condition, or if you're immunocompromised, stay at home and know of our prayers for you. We know it's not difficult or not easy, that it's great difficulty to continue to stay at home, but we ask you to do that. For those who are over the age of 65, we also encourage you to remain at home for now. It's still very highly recommended that any of those over the age of 65 or over, remain in your homes. We're not going to say, no, you can't come to Mass, but again, you're being encouraged to remain for now in your homes. The obligation to attend Sunday Mass has that dispensation that the bishop made earlier, I've lost track, is it now 2 months ago, continues to be in effect until August 15th of this year. So there is not an obligation to attend Sunday Mass, especially if you are in an older or a more vulnerable group, but actually for all of the faithful, the obligation is dispensed. It doesn't mean you can't come to Mass, it doesn't mean you aren't encouraged to come, but the obligation is dispensed. So, let's be very clear on this. You are not committing a sin by not being at Mass during this time. Still expected, however, that in some way you honor Sunday as the Lord's Day and keep this day holy, even if Mass is not a part of that observation. Please know that we will continue to live stream the Sunday Mass from St. Edward's at 8 a.m. for now. Our goal is to do this into the future and also to, we applied for a grant, if we get that grant, to set up a more permanent type of setup in order to live stream for years to come, at least one Mass on Sunday. Okay. With all of that being said, this is how the schedule will look and how things will work at St. Edward's in the coming weeks or weekends. The next 2 Saturday, Sunday, the next 2 weekends, May 9th and May 10th, and May 16th and May 17th, will still be live streaming only. The Mass will be live streamed, and then, like we've been doing, posting it online on Facebook and on YouTube. Then in the following weeks, those who have prepared to receive any of the sacraments of initiation and their families will be given priority, as the bishop has directed us to do, Bishop McClory. These are people who have been preparing to receive sacraments, and then because of everything that has happened, it came to a stop. Okay, so in Christian Charity, we want to address these folks and their situations first. So on the weekend of May 23rd and May 24th, which is the Solemnity of the Annunciation of the Lord, those Masses will be limited to our First Communion class and their families only. We will stream the 8 a.m. Mass. It will be a Mass with some of the kids present and their families for First Holy Communion. Then as we move into the next weekend, which is Pentecost weekend and the Easter season coming to an end, on Saturday, May 30th, the 5 p.m. Mass, the Vigil Mass for Pentecost, this Mass will be limited to those who were to be received into the church to be confirmed at the Easter Vigil. It will be limited to them and their families and friends. Since they were not be able to, the Easter Vigil was in effect unavailable to them at that point, and to all of us except for those who celebrated the Mass, like myself and the deacons. We will do this on the Vigil of Pentecost. Okay, so on Sunday, May 31st, we will begin celebrating Mass with a limited number of people in the congregation, according to our usual Mass times, 8, 11, and 12:30, which 12:30 is the Mass in Spanish. The number of people must be limited in order to ensure, and we've heard this over and over and over again, and we'll be continuing to live it out, safe social distancing. Each parish, based on the size of the parish, has a maximum number of people they can allow at Mass based on the square footage of pew space and or chair space that is available, and then we divide by a factor which takes into account safe spacing, the safe social distancing. So for St. Edward's, that number is 40. So 40 people per each weekend Mass is our maximum occupancy. 40 people. So how are we going to determine who those 40 people are? First and foremost, you must be a St. Edward parishioner. Okay, that's very important. We're taking care of our St. Edward parish family, and other parishes will take care of their parish families as well. Second, what was discussed with the bishop and the other priests in the webinar we had was inviting by invitation. I have chosen not to pursue that route. I made that decision based on the fact that it may present some hard feelings. You know, why was this person invited? Why wasn't I invited? So, I mean, the priests are doing the best they can under very difficult circumstances to try to address the needs of their parish. Some may choose that invitation option, and that's perfectly fine. That's what was presented to us. But I'm taking a different path. Like at a restaurant or a hotel, what we're going to do here at St. Edward's is what I call the reservation option. You make a reservation, okay? So if you have email, and please, if you have email, use the email. Only if you don't have email, use the parish phone, okay? But what I'm asking you to do is email me and use my personal email. Don't use the St. Edward email. So it's fatherrickholy@gmail.com. Look in your old bulletins. It's in the bulletins. Or look online or through Flocknote, where Deacon Bill sends out the bulletins. all one word, all lowercase, Father Rick Holy, Holy, at gmail.com. I want you to email me your name, the number of people in your party. Are you just an individual? Are you a couple? Are you a family of 4? I'll also need your Mass time preference. I'm obviously not going to guarantee you that is the time that you'll be able to come. But I'll look at your Mass time preference and try to do that. And also your phone number, because this is going to take a lot of time on this end to process all of this. And so some of these things I'll be responding to by email. Some Wendy will respond to you through your phone number. Okay? Okay. So what I'll do is, as those come in, I'll put in order as those emails come in, say, yes, I want to attend Mass on the weekend. I'll make a list, one list, okay? So you only need to call in once, okay? And if a week goes by and then other people are still trickling in with the calls, their names are added to the list, okay? Then what I'll do is, for each weekend, beginning with Sunday, May 31st, is I'll start going down the list and putting people into those 40 slots for those masses, okay? I will obviously will get back in touch with you to notify you of the mass time, or if we just couldn't accommodate you that weekend, okay? What's important to remember is we'll go through that list, and again, I compile it once. You don't need to keep calling in. You just call in once to get on the list. So if you weren't able to get in on a particular weekend, you'll be at the head of the list the following weekend. See how that will work? So most people are not, depending on the response, are probably not going to be able to go to Mass every weekend. But hopefully the way we'll do it, hopefully, at least every other weekend, while we're in this phase of the governor's plan. Okay? I think that's the fairest way to do it. Everybody will have an equal chance, an equal opportunity. It may not be the first chance, but again, as we keep recycling, going through the list, it will be an equal chance. Okay? Okay. Also, I want to mention to you about daily Mass. We will resume the celebration of daily Mass according to the normal schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m., first Friday and Saturday at 8 a.m. for Friday, 9 a.m. for Saturday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. I'm not taking reservations for that. I don't have time to handle all of that for every single Mass that we're doing here at St. Edward's. So what we'll do is we'll just see what happens, okay? So beginning on May 18th, Monday, May 18th at 8 o'clock, we can accommodate 40 people at the Mass, okay? If 60 people show up, okay, we're going to have to try to figure out something to say, we can only accommodate so many. Let's try to figure something out so we can take care of everybody's needs. But not have to go through the extent of making daily Mass so much of an effort to try to keep track of and count of the number of people by reservations, okay? The important thing is, going back to the weekend Masses, okay, the Saturday and Sunday Masses, please don't show up if you haven't made a reservation and didn't receive notice from me or Wendy that we've got you down for a particular Mass on that weekend. Please don't show up unannounced. We ask you not to do that because it's going to cause us difficulties. And we don't want to have confrontations at the door or anything like that. Again, we want to try to accommodate everybody according to the rules so we ensure your safety, so we can reach that goal that we're all aiming for, to return back to normal, or whatever normal is going to be, again, which is according to the governor's schedule is July 4th. But again, that's contingent on keeping cases and hospitalizations and deaths mitigated as best we can. Okay, some other additional important information, whether it's weekend Mass, whether it's daily Mass. The cry room will be closed. Obviously, there's no room for social distancing in there. It'll be closed and locked. Okay, but Remember social distancing as you're coming into the church, as you're seated in the church, as you're processing in the communion line, and as you're exiting the church. I know it's going to be, people want to talk to each other. They haven't seen each other in a while, okay? Please keep separation. Please keep that distance, okay? If you go out in the parking lot and start talking to each other, keep the distance, okay? Obviously, family members, that's not an issue, but, you know, people you're not living with, people you're not around, you want to keep the distance to help protect each other. That's the ultimate goal, okay? If you're at Mass, you must have a mask, okay? Think of mask, all right? We are not going to be providing these for you. Today it seems like there are many, many people who are making them. There are many options to purchase them. You know, come to Mass, come with a mask of some kind that you will need to wear throughout the Mass, except for obviously when coming up to receive Holy Communion, okay? The other thing with Holy Communion, and I know for some people this will be a very difficult thing because of personal preference and personal belief, but we want you to receive communion on the hand, at least during this period when the virus is spread through aerosol liquid, whether it be from the tongue, from a speaking, from whatever it is, okay? So remember that beautiful song, make of our hands a throne, one hand over the other, and receive our Lord in the hands. I know for some that might not be comfortable, but I'm just asking you to offer it up. If you're absolutely insistent on receiving on the tongue, I will accommodate a certain number, but it will have to be after Mass, and have you line up again, respectfully, socially distancing from each other, and I will offer you our Lord in the Holy Eucharist from the tabernacle, okay? But the thing about it is I have to hand sanitize between every person. So if there's 20 people in line, I'm not going to do that. I'll just be honest with you. I'm not going to do that. If there's 2 or 3 or 4, that's one thing. But if there's 20 people, I'm not hand sanitizing 20 times after every Mass. Okay? So we'll see how it goes after the first Mass. But I'm just asking you to make that sacrifice as you've made so many other sacrifices over these last couple of weeks. Okay. Lastly, we'll ask you to come in through the main entrance. We'll have worship aids there that you can pick up because we're not going to use the hymnal books. They'll be out of the pews or out of the racks, kept in pews that we're not going to be sitting in. Okay, the bulletins will be in the front. We'll have collection baskets stationed where you can drop off your envelope or your offertory without us having to pass collection baskets from hand to hand. We don't want to do that. If I didn't mention the bulletins will be available as well. So you just take it out of the basket, and this way nobody's handing it to you. We won't need extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion because it will just be the deacon and myself distributing communion at Mass, and with the smaller numbers we can handle that. There will be no distribution of precious blood, okay, so keep that in mind. No servers, just like you've seen if you've seen the streaming, the deacon and I will handle everything. No offertory procession, everything will be in the sanctuary, and we can take care of all of that. We will need a lector or a couple of lectors at Mass. Deacon Bill may do something with that as we look at who gets scheduled for what Mass, but that's a little bit up in the air right now. But we know if somebody's there who can be a lector and nobody comes up, come up. Okay? Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Okay? I know this is a long video. It'll probably take me forever to load it up, to post it on Facebook, the parish Facebook page, my own Facebook, or my cat's Facebook page. And I don't know if we can load it onto YouTube or not. I'll also be sharing this information at Mass this coming weekend and next weekend. Because remember, again, we're only streaming Mass this weekend and next weekend. Okay? So I hope this is all clear. Please pray about this. Please be patient. We know this is not easy. We know you have a great desire to be back at Mass. That's what should be in your soul. But we're going to try to accommodate everybody as best we can, be as fair as we can about it, and as safe as we can about it. Because the more safety that we put in place, the sooner we can get back to what is going to be considered normal, and the day when we can open wide the doors and let everyone in without any concerns about sickness or illness or anything like that. Okay, so we just ask you to keep praying. Pray for those who are sick. Pray for those who are at risk. Pray for those who are working on at the hospitals, at the clinics, those, as we say, on the front line, who are caring for those who are ill. And we just look forward to seeing you either online or in church as we begin to gradually come back and to head to what we've been used to for years and years and years. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. We'll see you either online or in the coming weeks at church. Bye-bye.